That's it, 3:30. So welcome to our webinar, AI for Coders. We run this webinar every month, and we invite some guest speakers to cover one industry or one function, and how AI is impacting positively, negatively, double-edged word, those different industry. So today it's about coding, it's about software development. And we'll see with our experts today what is the impact, what should we expect. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. We'll do our best to keep 10 minutes. So first, let me introduce myself very quickly. I'm not a guest here. I'm just the host. So my name is Stéphane Monsalier. I'm the CEO and founder of System in Motion. And the most important thing in my profile is the last sentence. So I got my degree in artificial intelligence in 1993. That usually makes me the oldest person in the room in terms of AI experience. But twice in the last year, I have not been the oldest one. Some people have been doing AI longer than me, but not that many, not really few. And at System in Motion, so we've embraced totally the AI revolution. We're doing education, integration, and consulting on the AI topic. And let me have our guests introduce themselves. So Paul, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me. So I'm Paul. I'm a consultant and technology entrepreneur. I have created my company since 1 year, I think, roughly. And I'm doing business consulting or solution development or software development and consulting in this domain since more than 17 years. And now I am, contrary to you, Stefan, I am relatively new to this. I'm jumped on this bandwagon, and I am utilizing AI heavily for my daily business.
Thank you, Paul, for being here today. And Damien, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Damien. I'm Director of Engineering at Horizon. I've been working in the software industry for more than 15 years, building enterprise solution for various industries, and also growing a team working on building software products. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So Damien, I will give you the sharing, so you can do the first part of the debate, and you can explain to us how you're using AI internally at Horizon, and what are your thoughts about leveraging AI in the software development.
Sure. So let me first briefly introduce Horizon. Horizon's employment of record, or EOR, meaning that we hire employee and contractors all over the world for our clients. Horizon has employees across more than 100 countries for more than 1,000 clients. Our company was started in China, but very rapidly grew globally. We have now team members across more than 30 countries. And important fact is that Horizon is 100% bootstrap. So, which means that we are trying really very hard to to remain very efficient in our operation, so that we can keep the company profitable. So this is why for us AI is a very important topic, because it can really help us to continue to achieve our efficiency across the board, but especially in product and engineering. So let me start by putting a bit context into what AI in product engineering means. So over the past years, we've seen major layoff across the tech industry, and that followed a period of boom where companies were hiring as many engineers as they could in order to fuel the growth. And when revenue growth and investment started to cool down, we noticed a trend shifting towards building more leaner tech team, and companies trying to be more efficient rather than just trying to hire as many people as they can. And this is exactly at this time that we started to see also the rise of AI over the past couple of years. That is also now fueling this need for more efficiency into the tech industry. So we often talk about, when we talk about the AI impact in software engineering, we often hear about how AI is going to replace developers, how we're going to be able to write code much faster with AI. But actually, there is a broad range of use case for AI in our industry. So in the software delivery lifecycle, that goes from getting ideas for features, ideation, towards delivering features to users. There are many steps into that process. This is a resource-intensive process, and which requires a lot of manpower. And then it's not only about coding, even though coding is a major part of it. And so AI actually has a very large set of use cases where it can help achieving more efficiency in the product and engineering. So in practice, there are many tools that start to become available, and that people in the product engineering industry can start using. So of course, LLMs is a major one. Everybody is starting to use ChatGPT or similar tools to be able to get answer quickly, and like this, avoid searching on the internet. But those are only the first tools that we start to leverage in our industry. Very quickly, we saw team members, and we encourage team members to start using ChatGPT and see how they could leverage it. But this is only basically a very simple way to start leveraging AI. There's actually a lot of other tools that are available and that we can leverage. A second type of tool would be having AI features inside existing products that product teams or engineers would be using on a day-to-day. And of course, as all the companies, all the products are jumping on the AI bandwagon, some of the features that we start to see appearing are a bit gimmick. They're trying to deliver an AI-powered features, not necessarily delivering a lot of values, but others are really making a difference. So we can note, for example, how AI in tools like Figma are making UI designers a lot more efficient, because it's really helping them to reduce some of the boilerplate work that they have to do on the day-to-day, so that they can spend more time being more creative. And other things that we often not really see is, for example, how AI makes low-code platforms even more useful. There is one platform called Retool that helps people to build simple applications that are often used for building internal apps or admin applications through putting together building blocks that, with the help of AI editors, actually even more improve the usability of the tool and really speed up putting together applications. And this is an example of how existing products are leveraging AI features to really deliver extra value that can be used for faster development or prototyping. So, and the last category, which is the one that we usually are expecting, what we're expecting the most, is AI native product, where AI is at the core of the tool, and from which we usually would expect like a lot of leverage out of those products and to improve efficiency in development. And so those tools, of course, the most commonly known one is all the coding automations, such as Copilot or Cursor, that we often talk about. But it's actually a lot of other tools that we start to see arriving on the market. And an interesting one is a tool around AI web testing that helps QA use prompt engineering. Instead of asking questions to ChatGPT, they'll connect to a website to test that they need to test, and using prompt, the tool will generate testing scenario, will analyze the web application, and then propose scenarios and really help speed up the creation of automated tests. So while we start to see a lot of those tools appear on the market and start to deliver value to users, they're still very spread across the entire software delivery lifecycle, and a lot of those tools are still in their infancy. It wouldn't be possible to start using them all at once, and so it's very important to be able to know what is delivering value and where those tools really make sense. So, for example, for us, it will be important to start to have engineers start to use coding automation tools and try to be more efficient. We also want to start leveraging AI in things that are actually taking a lot of time as we are building our platform, which is to go through brainstorming, supporting research, and really speeding up those really time-consuming part of designing software.
Okay, thank you, Damien. I have a follow-up question for you. How do you manage your management, maybe expectation, or your founders or investors' expectation? Like now with AI, everything is going to be so much faster, and you don't need to work so hard, and we can fire half of the staff.
Well, that's a very good question. Well, in the as a engineering manager, it's a question that we've always had anyway, right? So I mean, I remember, my first job when we started to have better computer, we also expected to be programming faster and spending less time coding because we had faster machine. So I mean, it's as with any tool that is improving performance and efficiency. First, there's a process where teams need to start using the tool. It's important to be measuring and monitoring how the tool is actually delivering value. And most of the time, we are in industries that are growing very fast. Cutting cost is one thing, but the potential of AI is not necessarily to reduce cost and reduce the number of staff, but actually being able to achieve more and to do this with better quality. And this is often I would try to approach that.
So you want to elevate the debate from just cost cutting to holistic continuous improvement, and just one of the tools that leads to improvement. Yeah. What about you, Paul? So Paul, you do projects for clients. So do clients expect you to do it in half of the time, half of the cost, because you have all the AI doing the work for you?
No, it's funny. It's making me laugh because now nobody will drink coffee. You can forget it. We just do more. Huh? It's like, and the fun part is like Amazon and the big companies, they let go lots of people. And then they will realize, we are so streamlined, we are more effective and stuff like that. But then after it's a selling company. What do the Amazon do? They sell. So they will see, we could sell more if we had more people, but the people will not join them anymore because they lost their hope in them. So now I think we will just find another stuff. I think this is the way we do. We are creative to keep us busy and to try selling other things.
So enterprise are still human enterprise, right? You still need people to run those companies. Yeah, we advertise the same at System in Motion. So Paul, can you share your view on AI and as a software engineer, as a developer, what do you think of AI? How do you use AI? And maybe if you have some advice for coders. Yeah.
Sure. So hopefully you see the right screen. No, you don't see the right screen, huh? Stop sharing. So hopefully you see it. So this is my little presentation, and I will just start this my welcome to the AI of devs. I will just walk you through about my thinking and my reasoning of how I see now the world around me. So, and at the first I would like to clarify. So it's always my disclaimer. It's all my personal point of view. I can be wrong. You can blame me. You can do whatever you want. It's just what I think temporarily in this given information I have at this time now. Huh? So at first I would like to clarify why I do code, because I would like to, or what I do, I transform business values or business value generating requirements into machine executable instructions. Thank you, ChatGPT. But what I do is I just help business to solve problems with code. So this is what's my purpose, okay? This is how I see why I'm writing code and what drives me. And I stay also in this bubble for all what I say in the next presentation, in the next slides. And so which problems do I have at the time being, or now with problem is that we have, well, since the 50s, and luckily we have an enormous advancement done in our field, in the software engineering, like we had new programs, languages, new strategies, new pattern, anti-pattern, best practices, and so on and so on. And I don't blame them. They are very reasonable. I don't like to work like 10 years back with tooling there. Huh? So I'm very happy with it. But at the other hand, we also went very far and too far off. We created like unnecessary layers of abstractions, and instead of trying to make the code like more usable and more readable for us humans, it's less usable and it's more complex. So then also we created like front-end frameworks. I will not tell names. Like when you start a Hello World example, you have like already 470 MB of disk space allocated, right? And this is maybe the fun part. But what I'm sick of also is to explain to the business when they ask me, can I have please a new property in this form on my web page? Can you do this? I say, yes, of course, 3 to 5 days. And then they look at me, why? Because I need to work with 5 different languages, with 5 different levels of abstractions, and with 7 technologies. And this is the stuff. So I'm really tired of. Huh? So this is my biggest pain point at the moment. How I see the future of AI. So you got the gist that we still do what we do more or less, or we do more or other stuff. But I believe also that eventually AI will do and bridge the gap between human intentions and machine execution. And it will understand natural language and generate working code. But then on the other hand, will we need really code at this state than later? Because what do I care when I ask the AI to do something for me if it generates a code I can read or not? So maybe this will disappear at all. So my levels of abstractions, the problems will be gone anyway. Huh? But I don't think that this will happen immediately I think not in the next foreseen future, because there are some few strawberries air counts problems in between this. And also I think, or I fear this big leap which we are now seeing, like the advantage in the technology from moving from GPT-4 2 to 3 and 4, that this cannot be reproduced. And maybe the reliable problems, that the hallucination, stuff like this will not disappear. And maybe we will finally find out that the technology we are using now is not the hail, and that it solves not the problem we intentionally think it will do. Where it helps, as you mentioned before, Damien, it helps in writing code, refactoring, debugging, explaining code, and guiding you when you are doing it. This is really something, and I will come back to this in detail in my demonstration, so I will keep it short. And where it can mislead, obviously, everybody has this experience already with ChatGPT. And from my perspective, it's not usable in huge code bases. I cannot imagine that a big company like use this already really to generate really code, because there's the AI does ignores our like best practices, context, understandings not given, and stuff like this, and the intentions why code was written like this. So this is not, I don't think that AI can do this at the moment. It will encourage us to go with shortcuts, not to learn the stuff really we are doing, but then just take the stuff as it is, and it's what we're seeing also in this in the domain. And so the skill, and even for the young people entering the market, it will be more difficult to understand the basics, and they will be just obfuscated. But the results are biased. We see it also now in some LLMs. They are giving all the same results, maybe the same patterns, the same strategies. So this is already what we see in this code generation parts. It hallucinates, of course, and for sure, AI is just a tool, so it's not a complete solution. So this is something what we need also to understand, and it will not solve everything with this feature stack or with this technology stack that it has now. For sure, it's not a complete search engine, it's not a data leak, and it's not a brain surgeon either. Huh? So this maybe people need also to understand that you need to be more sensible about this. And then after I have some tools I prepared, and I'm using some other I just discovered in preparation for this webinar. So it was quite cool. So just to sort it out what there is outside. So like this, the simple chat. You have the clients like everybody most likely know, like ChatGPT, Claude, and others. And you have also IDE extensions, like which I use is Continue or SuperMaven. So these are really helpful chats out of the context for my code, which are cool. Then for sure there's this code completion. So now they call it tap dev, because you really just tap and tap, and then the code is written for you, and the intentions are recognized. So it's quite fun, even though it's disturbing at the time, but it's quite cool. And this is also integrated in IDEs or as extensions. Then there's this AI Power Programmer. So this is just like Ada. I don't know if you ever had the chance to use it, like Klein, Exponent, or Bolt. So these are brands and products which didn't exist, I'm sure, 2 or 3 weeks ago. so crazy is this hype now, huh? That's really impressive what's going on there. And then there is this AI native IDE, because it is the very hyped super stuff. It's like, let's go and fork Visual Studio Code and do an integrated IDE on it. It's what Cursor did and what Windsurf is doing as well now. I will show you the bits from this in the demo. And I would just like also to talk about the effects from the social aspects, what we encounter as well. Like how does it affect us as software engineers? And so what we hear very often, it's does using AI question my expertise. So this is something like a blocker for people who don't really communicate and maybe face and exchange more about this topic. And I think that this is, it makes me think of earlier days of the internet, where you shyly looked, if nobody's looking, when you Googled for a solution for your tool, for your program. So it's really the same sentiment for me when I'm encountering now, what I'm encountering now. But I think this is moving now a little bit further. And it's agreed that it's helpful. So everybody has, since the last 2 years, has touched already something, and you found a use case which he can apply, professional or privately, so that people know what it is now. And we are but it's not yet universally embraced. But we are going there, so that everybody will know that you can do something useful finally. That is all perfect, but there will be use cases. And then then for some, using still will feel like admitting a lack of skills. So this is something we need to walk around or deal with. And then it's for sure it's the game changer and boosting productivity. And this is for what I'm more in the second camp, if you ask me. And so my last words on this is that it takes, so from my perspective from using it, so it's for sure AI changed already the relationship between me and the code I'm writing. So there is already something I feel, because I have less troubles to throw code away. Imagine, like before, I spent time like 2 or 3 days in writing and crafting some code, and then I saw, oh no, it's going in the wrong direction or whatever, and but I hesitate because I invested time in it. So, and I keep it, and even maybe when it's misleading, and I walk around, and so just for sake of keeping it. So and now I say, hey, it's not my code, I don't care. Go next idea, And this is really, it's quite good experience. And then I'm really fearing that that it's no, it's good that it's you can access new domains very faster and easier because you have on your companion, you can ask in the context the questions. And so the most or the best use case for how I use it, it's like, or how I express how I use AI is like, I have an idea, I would like to do something, but help me to phrase it. So this is the biggest help for me, you know, because even to keep up with all the technologies like front and back end and stuff. And then after as an entrepreneur, yeah, I need to make PowerPoints. Lots of stuff is going around. So I cannot sit anymore like, 12 hours in the cave and just coding. So it's not possible. And this is really, really a big help there. And of course, so there is this hallucinations. The pricing is also sometimes a factor when you can make enterprise companies and you have like 200 people who are bouncing against ChatGPT, then you will see the pricing very fast. And for me, it's like lots of opportunities and still changes open in this world. And it's also for me a topic of contradictions because it's, it's helping you. And then after you see, no, it's not possible. Why are you doing this? And so it's really like, it's good for learning, but then after it's not because it's hiding learning, because people shortcuts and stuff like this. So it's amazing. So I like it for time being. And then after we come to the demo later.
Okay, thank you, Paul. I love your comment. It's not my code. I can throw it in the trash, right? I really like that the way you phrase it. As a follow-up question, if some of the people who are attending this webinar, if some of them have not started yet their AI coding journey, what's your advice? What are the first steps that you took from being a traditional developer to become an AI powered developer, and where should they start?
Yeah, at first, just to go with the chat and try with copy and paste, because I think 90% of people will use it, the developers will, and it will be enough, It's a high number, I just say it like this, because you have in one domain, you have one problem. He'll help me to rephrase this, I have this regex, give me this regex. I have this, give me this. And this is the beginning when you start. And then after you can pick one tool and don't be overwhelmed by millions of tools, pick one, stay with it. And apply it, get comfortable with it, and then after you can go and try other ones.
So step one, use the LLM in chat as kind of your assistant, and then look for integration after you feel comfortable and you've got good results, right? That would be your advice.
Sorry. My journey was like I was very keen to have all locally on my machine. So this was my driver. So I installed Ollama, I installed then Visual Studio. I looked for free coding IDEs, and I found Visual Studio IDEs, which are really for free, and I connected to Ollama and I started poking with it. And I didn't have any pricing ideas anyhow behind, and then you can also continue as the next step. And then after you can go, because you see significant the difference between a locally run LLM and one from the big one.
Okay, but that was your decision, and it's not absolutely mandatory, right? Yeah, if you can stop the sharing so Damien can continue after. So Damien, same question for you. In your software engineering team, how did you get your developers to do their first step in that AI powered software development world? How did they step into the cold water?
Yeah, I think similar to Paul. Everybody, I think, starting to play with LLMs through ChatGPT or version of it. We also early on ask engineers if they wanted for us to pay for a subscription for Copilot so that they would play with it. And it's actually funny to see that that some of them starting to already play with it, and we're saying like we don't need a subscription because we already found one on Taobao, and we're able to start using. Yeah, it's very funny what Paul has been saying, because this is something they also notice early on, is that in the beginning people are shy of saying that they are using AI because they almost feel like they are cheating. Am I stupid, or does it show that I'm lacking skills because I need to ask ChatGPT for an answer? And for me, it's actually completely the opposite. Using AI actually show that, okay, here I need to do something. I'm gonna I'm going to find the information somewhere. I'm going to find the smartest way and the fastest way in order to get to the solution. And this is actually something that shows how to be smart and how to be looking for being more efficient at something.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise you go back to the punch cards and the old way of programming, which is super inefficient. So it's just a new iteration, as you said at the beginning. So can you share about how you do it at the team level, and how this integration of AI, how do you manage it, not developer by developer, but more as a software development process?
Yeah. So I think one thing that's obvious and that we've seen is that it, as Paul explained, it's very overwhelming. There are different tools and there are things popping up all the time, and engineers, teams are also feeling overwhelmed. Like, what should I do? Those things are like coming and going, and what's happening? People are trying to observe, and some people are playing with it. Some people are waiting, are more in a wait and see. But it is obvious that the technology is going to improve, and Paul showed a bit, even with skepticism. He sees that this is going in a direction where it's going to improve engineers' productivity. So if it's going to improve productivity, necessarily companies, teams are going to be expecting that this is that is going to happen. We see more and more studies that are coming out showing that engineers that use AI are being more productive and are achieving more. And so definitely this is going to raise the bar. And as the bar rise, people are going to need to jump on the bandwagon, and we're going to need to ride the wave. So basically, how do we take this? First, maybe expanding a little bit more on what Paul is saying, and from what I see as my point of view, as what I would recommend to an engineer. Of course, like as engineers, we always see changes in our industry, right? New languages, new frameworks. We've been developing for desktop, then for web, and now for mobile, and then who knows, right? For smartwatch. So there is this constant evolution. So this somehow should also feel natural for developers, engineers to learn, experiment, and see what the technology can bring to them. It's important to always also keep exchanging with others and stay open about this. But I mean, as Paul explained, see that what's really important is that AI for developers can really be a great tool for automating what is low value added, what is really the time consuming and the boring part of the work, so that you can focus more time and energy on something that is higher value. For example, making sure to craft robust and efficient implementation so that providing better outcome, better solution, and better implementation at the end. Also, it's very common among developers to complain about not having time to refactor code, write unit tests. We don't have time to write documentation, or we have to always speed up. This is now an opportunity for us to, for engineers to reduce the time spent on implementation and being able to then allocate some time or say, hey, at the same time, I was able to refactor some code and I'm bringing improvement to projects. And finally, have time to work on all those things that developers usually complain about. So yeah, there's that GitHub study that showed that AI developers using AI feels more in the flow. And what they mean by in the flow is that at the end of completing a task where a developer is able to complete it in a very efficient way and achieving the final result, completing some development, developers will feel sense of achievement, and being able to do this kind of in a constant way and focusing on this is something that is going to bring even more sense of achievement. I think this should really be a goal for engineering, and this is where AI can help, like doing things in a more efficient way in order to feeling more fulfillment at the end. But as Paul explained, it's always important to stay critical, because the code that can be generated can be hard to understand or can be wrong. And then the strengths that we have as engineers, as developer, is not just about writing code, which is why AI can be a good tool for that. It's about the solution that we come up with and the plan to implement it, and it is more important than the actual code and the implementation in itself most of the time. So being able to stay critical and make sure that we keep the human in charge is still critical here. So when we're talking about product and engineering teams, and so what it means for management or as a manager, which is my case, I see AI as an opportunity to unlock potential. As a team leader, I need my team to achieve good results so that we can deliver value to the business, right? And this is an opportunity to unlock this potential at the individual contributor level, so that as a team we can be more successful. So what is usually good to do is to see among the team, are there people that are already starting to use AI the same way I explained earlier. 5 people that can be advocates and set up a platform for knowledge sharing. Platform could be like group chats or things where people exchange about this, so that you avoid people being shy on the side and not wanting to say that they are using that they are actually using AI for the certain stuff. A key part, and we touched on that a little bit earlier. We need to be unlocking budget. Some of those tools can be rather costly, and so this also goes back to your question, Stefan, earlier about how to respond to management. Say, sure, like, can you unlock some budget so that we can improve productivity? But joke aside, it's important to focus on what can be useful, and not to just try to use and leverage any tools. A lot of those tools are still not very mature yet, and may bring and may be more confusion than productivity. One thing I think is also quite important is to give developers a choice. Some people would want to use one tool or another. When it's possible, it's always good to let them use what they want and empower them to take the lead. Also, a couple other things for manager to think of. It's always good to be leading by example rather than say, here are AI tools, now go use them. But show how we can be more productive. I can leverage LLMs or other tools to speed up some of the time-consuming part of our work. An important thing that's depending on the domain of the company or the size of the company might be more or less important is compliance. Certain company might deal with a very critical piece of software or very critical data that they are working with, and so it's always important to make sure that when starting to use a generation tool, that we know how the data is going to be used, and also to be careful about what would be the licensing usage of the code that we generate. I mean, there are a lot of actually open source companies that forbid their contributors to use LLM because the code that they generate will not be compatible with the licenses that the open source software is actually producing. And yeah, and with everything that we expect to implement as managers, follow up on how things are going and try to measure results when possible, so that so we can keep improving. So in general, it's more about trying to see how we can get the team to embrace the tools and get them in a comfortable space to start to take advantage of them. Yeah, a couple of things that I also want to address. AI represents quite is quite a big change, makes quite a big change into recruitment, both on the recruiter side, but also for people looking for jobs. So as our team have been growing along the year and it's continued to grow, I've been going through a lot of interviews recently, and it's very obvious that we see that more and more people starting to use AI to generate their resume, and it's extremely obvious. Oh, sorry. So for me, what it means for me is that I do expect people to be AI savvy. This is becoming a must. And in interview question, I always ask people to talk about what's their experience with AI, and people that say that they've tried it, but that's about it, kind of demonstrate that okay, they're not very curious, or they are not really trying to see what innovation can bring to them. But we have quite of a paradox there, because while we are expecting candidates to be more AI savvy, we don't want them to be having complete like an AI profile, AI generating resume, and it's important to keep the human aspect, right? So stay authentic and stay personal. And it becomes more and more, there's more and more noise because it's easier to apply for many jobs. Companies start to use AI to filter the resumes that were generated by AI, and finding a way to stay authentic, stay genuine is extremely important, even though it's becoming more and more difficult on both sides of the equation. Yeah, and so to be mindful of time, last topic I wanted to quickly go through is what it means also for junior and students. So of course, the industry have matured a lot over the past years, and since some of us have been growing into their career, and we now have much higher expectation for what an engineer can deliver. AI is going to exacerbate this. We're going to expect even more than this, and so it makes it extremely difficult for new starters to learn how to write code and the art of software engineering. So unfortunately, nothing replaces learning by experience, and nothing replaces experience. But AI can again be used to really like fast track a learning curve while still trying to master the basics, because knowing how things work under the hood is still going to be needed eventually, because even if the AI can help to write the code, we still need a human at the beginning and a human at the end, right? So yeah, here there are some opportunities, but definitely have a lot of challenges for new developers out there.
Thank you, Damien, and I like your description of the race to arms between the job seekers and the companies using AI on both sides. I think it's a reality that people need to be aware of, because that's the world we live in right now, and there's no going back. So now, Paul, it's your turn to show us the magic. You have decided to take the big risk of showing a live demonstration of how AI is going to generate some amazing results in front of everybody, right? No pressure.
Well, no pressure, but why taking risk? I'm doing nothing at the same time, right? So even you've been already part of my demonstration, because this tool I wrote yesterday I don't know, 30 minutes. Really, without joking, I just said I have markup file. I would like please to visualize it in a webinar tomorrow. And I said, use basic HTML animations and stuff like this. And this is what came up, huh? So it's I don't know. I'm just impressed, huh? So it's because I'm I'm a developer. I'm not so much in UI, but now it's quite cool, huh? So I'll just run you through very fast for how maybe I will come back later how I set up my environment, but I will just show you the stuff how I will do in a project. I will do now a project from the peak, huh? So I will go in. This is a cursor. This is the very famous and very hyped tool, and I must admit it's really good, huh? So and I'll just run you through and throughout this just to show you that we started from the beginning. So this is the cursor. There are just 2 files in it, nothing else, okay? And I just create to show you also. I just create the all from the beginning. So I create a Svelte-based application, and we are going to create a project in WebShop for keyboard, okay? This is what we are doing now. Use TypeScript. So this is not nothing with AI related. Just to show you that we are beginning really from scratch from the very beginning, huh? So npm pnp, and then we are going. So normally it's 10-20 seconds and it's done. And you see that this is not AI yet, huh? But I remarked that AI is very bad with setting up projects and setting frameworks or test environments. So this is not the best part for AI for doing this, huh? I just put AI, put the data in the Git, and now I will open to show you that this is the application now we are living in. Okay, this is this port. It's local by dev environment. Okay, and now I say. I'm here in my Composer. This is the very famous feature, but there are also other tools. You can do it also in other tools. It's not really Composer, but it's the flow. I think it persists the best in this Composer tool because it's not so, you don't have lots of distractions. So, and then in this Composer tool, I just write implement as instructed in, and then I have my file like new context. And I let him do, and during this, I will explain to you what it's actually doing, but it will say it as well. But my doing here, my contribution to this project was I created this file, this markup file as well, or a text file, whatever, and I describe what I expect or what I'm doing. This is my project. This is my sitemap. So it's a web shop, okay? I provide you a sitemap. I would like you to use this technical stack like Svelte 5, TypeScript, PNPM, CSS, and Lucid Icons. Then the design philosophy. I have these colors. I need to accept. I have the first delivery. Sorry, there is somebody who's delivering something. Oh, there is an error. Oh no, what are you doing? No, we need to start our debugging session. I take this chunk of code and I paste it again, and I said, please fix. And hopefully he will do it. During this time, I can show you again. So in this data. So just design philosophy, and then I defined the color palette, what I would like to have. I defined also other details of I defined also other specifications. Just need to check if it's there. And I say continue. So I defined the color palette, like primary colors and design, and also the inspiration. I would like you to get inspiration from this. This is just a tool who looks up and gets web scraping from the internet. And I insist to have a modern and minimalistic approach, high-end tech presentation, and okay, I need to watch what he's doing. And this is not the right stuff. So then there is still an issue. So I can also go and take the screenshot. This can be also used if I would have the UI and I would have something in the UI broken, or in header is overlaying another content. So I can just really paste HTML there inside, and I can say fix it. And this is so impressive for me. I can really fix UI issues with providing pictures to it, huh? So this is our our issue is this. I know it because I run also in these issues, and don't fear. So he's still generating the good code. So then the product position, I continue doing this to explain what other reasoning were, what I thought also. I would like to have this I would target tech audience. Maybe there will be another. Et voila. This is what he's done on the first shot after one problem because one library was missing. So it would be already there if the library was not missing, but this is frameworks for it and not AIs. Huh? And imagine this is one like home, and there will be most likely not implemented because he's not yet there. And then I go again to my friendly helper and I say, okay, looks good. I gave him instructions, right? I said, I would like to have this, and he know that he didn't achieve it yet. And then now he will suggest, okay, I will continue with the next. I will continue with the next. And it's also not that it's rubbish code, but maybe there is not all will be 100% sure, and I will not deploy it as it is to the production. There is some enterprise level code to add. But for me, like from with my technical stack and this helper of this, all these UI bits, I'm super enabled now, So it's really impressive. I'm really impressed. I'm not like a fanboy, yeah, because AI is now there. No, I think I'm enough objective to appreciate the advantage of it. Huh?
How much time would you say you've saved? So it took you like 9 minutes to get to where you are today. Traditional way of doing it. How long would you think it would take you? Roughly?
Well, with all the discussions, I don't know, a week, 2?
A week or 2?
Yeah, but hey, I'm not yet there because I'm on the beginning. I have, because now we are running a little bit out of time. But I have with other tools, I just said to it, I would like to have the GPR stuff inside. I would like to have an online shop. And I have this is when this is running, so I can just let me double check if we have this 1 minute more. Because I can insist and I would say this styling I don't like it. And I can do more, with simple prompts. So I let it be because hopefully he will be done. And I could also normally, when it will be not a presentation, I will of course read what he's presenting because he's explaining what he's doing, right? But I would just like to bring it to the peak, because what we can do now, this is not implemented. And I can insist because he's got this styling already. And I just say, continue, he will do it. Okay, you just need to believe me. But what I would like to show to you is the impressive stuff. What happens when I just say to him, go and implement me a checkout process. And this really blew me away because really I have a button. You will see. Don't need to. So this will take maybe 1 or 2 seconds.
So for me, even without the e-commerce parts, I mean, if you have a beginning of a project, because it's the fear of the white page, right? It's like the writer's block. How do you start your project? So you've kind of like, so this week or 2 weeks to really put things in place and really set it up. This is a huge time saver. After the subtleties and the added features, I think they will come along. Now if it's building a complete e-commerce like a copy of Magento in Node.js, then that's yeah.
I would even go farther and say, for me, web development is fixed. Huh? Really, it's a little bit a shady expression, but it's for me, it's really, I'm impressed.
Okay.
And so,
yeah,
if people are interested in, because to see really the workflow, how I'm doing it, so they can reach out, so you can state it afterwards, because there is other tools I thought also to show it, but unfortunately I'm running out of time.
No, but I think it's, I mean, again, you made the point by answering my question. Like, if you, 1 week to set up an e-commerce project and 10 minutes, that's already a huge time saver at the beginning of the project. and if you have more behind, that's I mean, the more the better, you know. So let's go down through the question that there. So we had let me look at the question. So I think the biggest question we had was how do you make sure your developer are using AI? So Damien, you told us how to get them engaged and how to create those champions. But I think Johnson's question there is like, how do you make sure they're using it? Do you put pressure on them on the time, or do you go behind their backs to make sure they are using the corporate tools?
So, I mean, in short, at the moment at least, I do not necessarily put pressure on anybody to force anybody to use AI. Trying to get engineers to learn and see how they can leverage it, and it's actually extremely obvious to see that top performers and people that are extremely curious, the ones that usually learn many languages, are going to embrace this the most and are going to be even more productive and are going to grow faster than others. So while managing a team of engineers and while growing engineers through their career, the ones that do not want to use AI are gonna, at some point, I mean, maybe we're not there yet, but in a couple of years we'll probably be there, where they are going to start to see that they are lagging behind, and it will be in their own interest. So at the moment, I don't think it's about, we don't want to force anybody to use it, because it needs to be, personal, at least for the time being. But it's going to show at the end of the day.
I think we see that in every function, actually. The top performers are embracing AI the right way, and we're just seeing an increase of the gap between the bottom performers and the top performers, you know.
Exactly.
So Paul, yourself, nobody forced you to use AI, right? That was your own decision.
Yes, and I think this question is also solved for me, because when somebody's working now and he's delivering and he's not falling behind the team, so why bother? So this is very, and then after, if the people are, because software developer normally they are, I would say, the 80-90% of them, they are curious by nature and they are committed throughout this profession already to be learning their life. So they're naturally, they should be already, intrinsic motivated to do this.
Yeah. We have another comment question. I mean, I think it's more of a comment, but I'll try to turn it into a question from Xavier. He's sharing his experience and saying that he's receiving from his clients some specifications that have been generated by AI. They're impressive because whenever you use LLM, the wording is really nice and it's well written and it's using very good English. And he said it's technically impressive, but completely wrong and massive loss of time. So did you have this experience, and what would you do in that situation, Paul? If a customer sends you a very nice document that makes absolutely no sense, how do you react to that?
Yes, as I mentioned before, this does not solve all the problems. You need to find the right spots to do it. The only solution is to communicate and to ask the person what the intent was actually. Don't hide behind this. Just confront the people and be clear about this.
Okay.
Or you just use AI to summarize it.
Use AI to rewrite it.
Yeah. That's one of a challenge, and this is why we keep repeating. We've repeated this a couple of times throughout the discussion. That's why at this point, at least, AI is not going to replace everybody's job, because you still need a human at the beginning and a human at the end. And when we use LLMs, when we use AI tools, we need to keep looking at the result and analyze it, and then turn it into something that really wants to make for ourselves, and not necessarily blindly use this as our own work.
Yeah. So Xavier said they still had to read the 20 pages, but I guess use LLM on your side, and then and then get the LLM to summarize it and ask the LLM, does it make sense or how should we it? We had comments from Guillaume, actually, Paul. Guillaume wants to see more. He wants to see what you can do with Cursor. And I have a different proposal, actually, Paul. My proposal is that you do a longer demo that you record, because here it's more, here today the webinar was really about the discussion and exchanging ideas. But that demo of Paul playing his magic, I think it's something we can absolutely record with comments, where you take your time, Paul, and then we can send it back, put it back on our YouTube channel, Bilibili channel, and then send it back to all the participants.